All right, today we're going to talk about something that's so core to how businesses are set up that most of us have never even questioned it. I'm talking about the IT department. But what if that box on the org chart, the one we all take for granted, is actually the thing holding us back? That's what we're digging into.
I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? You've got this amazing idea, something you need to get done. But first, you gotta submit a ticket. And wait. For all its importance, the IT department often gets this reputation as a bottleneck, a source of endless friction. There's a reason they call it the Department of No. So let's get right into the really provocative idea here. What if it's not the people or the process, but the IT department itself that's the problem? What if that entire siloed structure is just fundamentally broken for the digital world we live in today? That's the core idea we're going to unpack. So first up, let's explore this problem. And I want to be super clear. This isn't about blaming the people in IT. It's about the organizational box we've put them in, a box that's getting pretty old. I mean, think about where this whole idea of an IT department came from. Back in the 50s, with punch cards and these giant room-sized computers, yeah, you absolutely needed a dedicated department to run the thing. Even in the 80s, with mainframes, it was a support function. But today, we're living in a world of cloud, AI, and digital-first everything. We're essentially pouring brand new wine, all this amazing tech, into a really, really old bottle. The model is just a relic from a different time. Okay, so what's the actual damage of using this outdated model? Well, it does more than just slow things down. It literally builds a wall right down the middle of the company.
And this right here is the heart of the problem. As soon as you create that box called IT, you automatically create this other thing called the business. And suddenly you have two different tribes. They speak different languages. They're measured on different things. The business is all about strategy, customers, and revenue. IT gets measured on budgets, uptime, and patches. They have completely different goals. That gap between them is where all the friction and frustration comes from.
So why is this model so shaky? Because it's built on a foundation of assumptions that are just, well, they're wrong today. It assumes business units know exactly what they need up front. It assumes users will just automatically adopt whatever gets built. It assumes that if you build it, value just magically appears. And maybe the biggest one, it assumes tech needs are stable over time. Seriously, in today's world, do any of those sound true to you? Nope, not at all. That foundation has completely crumbled. And here's what happens when those assumptions fail. When the business can't get what it needs from the official IT department fast enough, what do? They go around it. They build their own solutions. That's exactly where shadow IT comes from. It's not people being difficult. It's a symptom of a broken system. So, you might be thinking, okay, if it's so broken, why haven't we fixed it yet? Well, people have definitely tried. The problem is, most of the fixes are just tinkering around the edges. They don't get to the real root of the problem. Yeah, this quote from the source material really hits the nail on the head. It's like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. You feel busy, you feel like you're making changes, but the ship is still going down. All these efforts focus on fiddling with the existing IT structure, but they never ask the big question, should this structure even exist in the first place? And you've probably seen some of these fixes in your own organization. They're like Band-Aids on a deep wound. We swing back and forth between centralized and decentralized IT. We create a two-speed IT, the fast lane and the slow lane, which usually just creates more confusion. We try to sprinkle some agile on top of the old, rigid structure. We invent a whole bunch of new C-suite titles like Chief Digital Officer or Chief Analytics Officer. But here's the thing. Every single one of these fails for the same reason. They all start from the assumption that the IT department has to exist. Okay, enough about the problem. If the old way is broken and the common fixes are just Band-Aids, then what's the real answer? Well, it means we have to think completely differently. We need a whole new design brief for how we structure our companies. And here it is. This is the fundamental shift. The old way treats IT as a known, a thing, a place, a cost center you have to control. The new brief treats IT as a verb. It's an action. It's about generating value. It's an activity that should be happening everywhere in the organization, not just in one department. This might sound like just a word game, but it is a massive, profound change in how you think about technology.
And listen, this isn't just some academic theory. Companies are actually doing this. A great example is Starling Bank, a digital bank that was built from the ground up on this idea. Their former CIO, John Mountain, put it perfectly. He said when you don't have an IT department, you never need to use the phrase the business. That huge divide, that us versus them schism, it just doesn't exist.
And it's not just nimble startups like Starling. Look at a huge established player like DBS Bank in Southeast Asia. They realized their old structure was a major handicap. So what did they do? They reorganized the whole company around platforms, which basically means they combined their tech assets and their business talent into single teams. Their mantra became, technology is business and business is technology. There's no separation. So this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you start erasing that box on your own org chart? Let's get into some practical guidelines. The absolute first step, the one everything else is built on, is getting this mental shift right. You have to stop thinking of IT as a thing you have, like a piece of furniture, and start thinking of it as something you do. It's not a department, it's a capability, a skill that needs to be woven into the fabric of the entire company.
Okay, let's walk through the first 3 guidelines. Number 1, we just talked about it. Reclassify IT from a noun to a verb. Number 2 is super important. This isn't about getting rid of your tech experts. Not at all. It's about getting their expertise out of the IT silo and embedding it throughout the company where it can do the most good. And number 3, change the entire goal from managing IT to generating value from IT. It's a total shift in purpose.
All right, let's keep going. Guideline 4. Recognize that delivering value is an intellectual challenge, not just a technical one. It's about smart people solving problems together. 5. Design your organization for social integration. Make it easy for people to talk and collaborate. Don't build walls between them. 6. This is a big one. Organize around your products, your processes, and your data, not around old-school departmental silos. And finally, number 7. This has to be driven from the top. Leaders have to be the catalyst for this change, spreading this new way of thinking everywhere. And you know, when you boil it all down, that's really the key. The org chart is just a piece of paper. The real barrier is in our heads. An organization is just a shared idea, a collective agreement on how to work together. And that box on the chart is just a reflection of how we think. So if we really want to unlock our company's potential, we have to start by changing our own minds about what IT is and what it's for.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Go take a hard look at your own company's org chart. Ask yourself, does this structure reflect the past? Is it designed for an era of mainframes and support tickets? Or is it designed for the future? A future where technology and business aren't separate things, but are one and the same.